Imagine working in a market, plying your trade, and the next thing you know, you are evicted with no idea when the market will be completed. Take a look at this report.
Old Salaga Market, which was once a tourist site, was demolished to make way for a new one. A groundbreaking ceremony was held by the previous Mahama-led administration for refurbishment works to begin. More than 5 years after sword cutting, the Salaga Market has seen no facelift. The market is in a dilapidated state, and some traders who were evicted at the old market to make way for the new one have moved to the streets, selling at unauthorized places under the scorching sun. Some are fortunate to sell under umbrellas, serving as a source of shade. Others have theirs started. I move to the market, interact with traders, finding out what they've had to suffer in this condition.
No way be a one atana sa market na lower get London market. Where London market no koi ya no. Germany what when me Kenya call loan 100 million. Ni get London market feta. Kedun bo ne gota jio. Ae no ko Germany what me come what jofoi. No apechi e bi wo e bi a wo me ne ba be ba ke efe wo me no ba be ba ke efe wo me ne ba be ba ke efe bi I know me water no na ba fia ma she call the post office below ba o na ke market ye bi no ko ya no wo ya bi aka sa bi wo sa aka sa bi sla bi ne je ko di da ni ka ma about take years wo won pa me fai o no ji o no amebo na me masla wo ke je na kan e balake politics so no votes, no markets. No markets, no votes. No markets, no votes.
Guys, boys, I'm about take over. I'm occupy Jamefe. Ona, Nika me fire Jamena, Kagman ni Juba. Beno Baba, I draw no, Beno Baba Fene, one government fi. Eche. Sitting government take a bag buena. She won't qualify neighbor wow. What bag boy nature? No, come to our aid. Ne eba na jano ye amobo. Be a ne woman me fe tuni ye ni meneshe wono.
Veronica Ama is a 75-year-old woman who was part of the traders who moved to the streets to sell. She's been plying her trade under the scorching sun and pours out her frustration about the stalled project.
Be ne won pa fai, wo kun na kuchi na won pa fai. Be a gamashi slahane mbanina bena famia jale e bi omo no ka fite na ka sa agbena agme kula kwa bana lo wa bata state no ni yo na nchu kwa mo bia na ndi hunu nshawo ka nyumbo ne wo ba jano ni mi ka ba gba jano biko bia ye ni e ja ka no ni ho no e ko nyiyo mba o chi enyo ni ho ko ni ndan wo won pa fai
e wa fi no ba vote le.
Okay, my vote le. Oh, I'm sorry. No more like come to ele bemi. Oh, that be the concert. You vote to no ning malen kwa wo gotam ta frache.
The market queen takes me on a tour to see the level of work done so far and how deserted the place looks.
Iba be po nyena kopi, alontie nyena kopi. Ke to. Bi energy ni amba graze Dona, she be an no water market meji. Been back here during the COVID time. Na ke wa buy rate the edifice ne. What up to date no kuba no. What's all emoji ni mo agbelegba government. Ko never complete ke. Ona other one any machine ne ke edifice ne. E machine be an starting ne na starting. I started then I started. Come on, it has been completed. Okay. She be any no. Now
it's not been completed.
No, Gini, ni me by invade be any. We're here ni and baboing got a say construct because drainage is very poor. The war owner can start from this one make. When I may be an access to the drain. She be an market be a danger. We are in trouble. Kejo tami. Ona loko mokuba eba bi buake mi no ho ona mokuba eba bi buake mi no ho e wo keji obe customer ko Ni ibanye never heading your dear. Bemukuba. This is the place that they used to sell their
Meats and all that,
okay. And the other one is the fish market. The other one is the where the fishmongers sell their fish.
Okay. It's a very big place.
And there is another small one also at the back. That those who sell pork and they also have their portion over there. But now nothing is going on. And this place have been
All the bamboos.
bamboos. They use the bamboo to construct the to do them. But when they finish, they have left it. At first there were some iron rods here.
That
But
were
now,
being used for the construction.
but now it has been removed.
Stolen.
All has been stolen. And we don't know the one who came to steal it. So we are looking for the government to come and take control over this place. That is what we want.
I interacted with some young men who have invaded the abandoned market, turning the place into their own apartment. They say if the market is constructed, they will be employed.
We are here, we are not stopping the work of the government. But if the government to say he is ready and he is coming to work, we will at least assist to get something to do. Have you seen?
So these are some of the squatters here.
Yeah, these are our brothers. You see, as you can see, a lot of guys live here. We are jobless, we have no job. So what we want to tell the elders that we want the market to be built quick so that everybody can have something to do. There are a lot of guys here that has no job. So at the end of the day, if they try to steal from the government will say maybe they are doing what's not fair. But the system is hard everywhere.
So you are saying that those squatters here, if the market is constructed, you'd get job opportunity.
And if the market is being constructed, we can have a job around because a lot of guys, if you can see from the back, we are all jobless. We are living here, and our mothers outside has been complaining all the time about this thing. So on behalf of, we need to tell the government and need to let the government know that we really need him here. We are in a crisis. We are in a deep crisis here. No, right as we are talking to you, no one cares for here. There was a fence. As the woman told, the fence has broke down. So everybody is coming in which it's like the work has been quit. But it's not like that. Yeah, so as you, number one, you see.
So I must say that all the people you're seeing here are squatters that are living inside the market, the slum market that's supposed to be under construction after it was demolished in somewhere 2016. And so these are the people that you're seeing here. Seeing a lot of clothes that have been dried on the bricks that have been laid, and then also some people taking their bath, their shower in there. So it's a very worrying situation. Are you the one who created this mess?
Yeah, we are the one who has been sweeping here together. The rubbish here to burn.
So people come and make the mess and then you sweep and all.
Yeah. We are the ones who sweep and cater for here. Have you seen? Have you seen? So we are the ones who cater and sweeps around here. You know, as I can say, all of us, we are jobless. So all the time, we are seeking favor from the government. You should do something before the December goes down.
Some of the traders believe the only way to get authorities to complete the project is through the intervention of the Gamanche.
Ne beba fe campaign ni na beni kpoton ekpoto ni po agbo mi e ba hala ne shishi anwo.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister has been speaking on this development.
Salaga Market, it also is in the discussion stage. We're looking at the funding sources as to what we can do to deal with it. So when it's ready, I'll let you know.
But have you inspected that market yourself?
Say again?
Have you inspected that?
I've been there with the mayor of Accra. I was there the day Father Campbell of the Catholic Church launched a program called something Soup Kitchen. The vice president was there, the education minister was there, and Niga himself. And Niga touched on that, you know. So right from that program, we went to the Mamprobi Tuesday market. There's another market that they are doing there. Then from there, we came to Salaga Market. It's not. We call it Salaga Market, but it's Salaga. It was named after the town in Savannah, Salaga Market. Then we went to the same school as well. So I'm working on it. Trust me.
I must say that it's been a difficult time for traders who used to sell here at the Salaga Market before it was demolished years ago to make way for the new market. Well, they say that they've had to suffer harsh weather conditions to make ends meet. Now, they want government to step in as soon as possible to complete this market, or else they would boycott the 2024 election. For ChannelOne News, Akosi Aotre, Accra.
So we have in studio Akusia Otre, who brought us that story from the Salaga Market, where traders are threatening to boycott if the market is not fixed for them. Akusia, thank you for joining us on Sunday Breakfast.
It's a pleasure being here. I thought by the time I come, some cocoa
will be ready for you.
You should have told us so I had to leave
don't
the
do
cocoa for
this.
you. Yeah, sorry.
You see the way we call you. I mean, viewers don't know, but is it the name we call you? We wanted to put together some English break.
But I had fufu before coming.
Hey!
If fufu need JHL, you know what it means?
I know, what does that mean?
Fufu adiaches. Yeah, it was great. A prominent. So.
No, but according to the registered dietitian we had, it's actually okay. But it depends.
Yes.
It depends on the quantity and whether you had it with vegetables.
So how big was it?
Oh, like my fist. It wasn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't believe it, but
I think she picked me apart from the previous interview.
You're cracking me up.
She picked the apart from the previous interview.
Oh my God.
Did you get the full stuff from the Salaga markets though?
No.
You didn't get it from the Salaga
There's nothing
market?
going on there, so where am I going
I
to
can
get
imagine.
Do I de beja? Do you understand?
What does that mean?
Is it a food? No, a food is farm.
But there's nothing happening.
Market. Yeah.
Wow. What's
Give
the
us a
state?
background. Yeah, give us a background to the story.
So rightly, as the Greater Accra Regional Minister said, Salaga, the people, the folks call it Salaga Market. So like he said, it was named after a market in the Savannah region, Salaga Market.
The Salaga slave market.
Yes. It's a very old market. It's an ancient market. They used to bring in goods from the northern part of the country to Salaga Market to sell to the people. And largely was known for its cheap prices. So before you go to Accra, or those Makola areas, before you go there to shop for food stuff, you think twice trying to weigh the prices.
Yeah.
And people were going to Salaga Market because you would get cassava 10 tubes for, let's say, 10 cedis. And that was relatively cheap. And so a lot of people were coming. And me saying that it was an ancient market, those days during the slave trade era, they used to bring, it's very close to, so for the purposes of those who don't know where the Salaga Market is, it's in the center of the Gamashi area.
Oh, okay.
That's just like 3 minutes walk away from the general post office. Okay. So a lot of people living around those areas were having access to the place, easily, and would not have to go all the way to Accra to go and shop. And it's also close to the Asha Fort. So the slave masters were bringing in the slaves. They look at what work you can do and all that, and they use them to I don't know how to put it, but that was where they were using them to work.
Oh, okay.
So you come there and you work, and then you go back to the Asha Fort. So that's how the slave trade activity was ongoing there. So if you look in the report, you see this monument there.
Yeah.
Very significant, structure or edifice that has been put there with some inscriptions by the slaves. And, it used to be a tourist attraction too. Yes. So a lot of people were not just coming there to buy or sell. They were coming there to take pictures in front of the monuments as well.
The one in the Savannah region is still a huge
Exactly.
tourist attraction.
Exactly.
Only that we've not really utilized this as tourist
Exactly.
potential.
But you can't say same for
the
the Salaga Market. Yes.
The constituency.
Yes. Now you can have access to the place, but it's not for its intended purpose. So going there to trade or going there to, those I saw there were either going there to defecate, excuse me to say, some were going there to sleep, like you saw, others have even turned there, into their own, homes. I saw a man who had this wardrobe. Just say he's arranged his shoes at one
joking.
side.
He's
not joking.
He lives there.
Yeah, they live there. It's like their new home.
Right.
Both females and the male. Unfortunately, the females didn't allow us to take videos of them.
Okay.
But you see the females there, you see the males, some taking their shower, the children coming in there to play. Animals all over the place, defecating, some doing their own thing. It's a very terrible state. Now, 20 years ago, the markets began to deteriorate. The ceilings, the roofings began falling off.
That's the old site.
The old site began falling off. The walls were developing some cracks and all of that. And so in just before the 2016 election, that was in John Mahamed's time, he said that, the campaigns, when they go on the grounds, the politicians, they visit the area folks, they ask the chiefs and the people what really you want. What are your problems, what are your issues. Then in 2014, 2015, the NDC administration visited the place and the people said, you know what, this Salaga Market has been here for years. Now we can't contain it anymore because when it rains, it floods. And so can you do something about it? The NDC administration felt that, yes, you've suffered for long. So let's draw up a plan and see what we can do. So the first thing that came to mind for the NDC was to pull down the structure to make way for the new one. And so they began the demolition. Half of the building was pulled down. But there's a fish market in there. That structure is well established. It's still there as it is. It has this pink painting.
Yeah.
That one, it wasn't pulled down. But the structure around it, the one that contained the market sellers, the one that they've not demolished is for the fishmongers. But the ones where you find the vegetables being sold and all other goods, that one was pulled down to the ground. Some part of it in the NDC administration. They were not able to finish. And then the NPP came to power, 2016. President Akufo-Addo, he vowed that he was going to do something about it. And indeed, we give them their stone. They pulled down the rest of the structures that was not being able to be demolished by the NDC administration. And that was led by
the
AMA
mayor,
at that time,
Nia
J. and then Koda. Coastal Development Authority. Exactly. So it was led by them. We covered that report, CTFM, at that time. We covered that report. It was pulled down. And then they said, okay, we're also going to bring up a new structure. Yes. And somehow they were able to, do something, like you're seeing, where the squatters are living. All that structure was put up by the NPP government. That one they did very well. They started putting the iron rods, putting up the pillars and all that. You could see construction ongoing. Because President Akufo-Addo in 2016, his manifesto, he said that he was going to give $1 million to every constituency, if you remember. And they vowed that in that particular constituency, they were going to use part of the $1 million to finish the project.
Let me ask you, so after going there and interviewing the Greater Accra Regional Minister, do you get a sense as to when this project would recommence? Because if I get you correctly, 2016 was when the former president announced that his government was going to do something about it. It didn't happen.
The incumbent president.
Then now Nanado comes on board, the AMA and the Coastal Development Authority also announced, heading into the 2020 election, that they were going to fix anything about it. Now we are heading into another election, cycle. And it's come up again. I've seen the traders. I think the traders even protested some time ago.
Yeah.
When you spoke to the minister, do you get a sense as to when government was going to commit some funds into the project?
So before I come to that, let me talk about the protest, the other protests that the traders had. So when they started putting up the new structure, some of the market women had doubts as to whether they were going to get should I call it portions, or they were going to be moved to the new market if it was constructed. So a lot of them were like, you know what, the place that you have given to us, that's the London, there's a market called London Market.
Yeah.
When they evicted them to pull down the structures, that was where they took them to the London Market. Some of them felt that if we are in the London Market and we set up our shops and we are okay, when they finish the new market, they will not give us our shops or our stores. So you know what, some of them, she will say, and they move to the streets so that, you know, that's pity, you know, you will find pity on them, and then you'll be able to give them the structure when you finish or you complete the new market.
And they are moving to the street has now caused other problems, I believe, because we understood
Exactly.
report, we saw traffic getting worse there.
The inner roads,
sanitation,
terrible.
hygiene.
Terrible.
And like, so they don't even have a place of convenience, right?
Not at all.
And they use their same hands and everything after easing themselves to sell food for us. Did you see some of those scenes?
I saw it. So that particular area, it's not just the market that has a problem. It's the entire area. Parking is a problem, especially weekends.
Wow. I can
In the
imagine.
Grand area, they are organizing a funeral service in Eno. Before you drive out, now Abre, because they'll block the roads. Yeah. So it's not just the market. And the traders too have moved to the market. When you stand on the main road, you see the way they've lined up. And it's very terrible. Sanitation, don't even go there.
And the general hygiene.
Where are they, you know, for lack of a better word, going to the toilets? Where?
I didn't ask.
Okay.
But I know that the homes around, not everybody has a toilet facility in their homes, and they don't have,
So
I'm not sure
like
they
a
have
public toilets in the area? Or you wouldn't
maybe
know?
they have public toilets, but as to whether people have in their homes and all of that, I'm sure that's the place the market women also use. Yes. So that one, it's
a whole conversation.
It's a whole
on this
conversation.
One. So
it's
an infrastructure problem that has now fast become a traffic concern, a road problem, and a sanitation issue, and a hygiene you want to add. Wow, incredible stuff.
And then to the question about if it's going to be completed, if you ask me, I'll say I don't think it will be completed, because listening to the regional minister, it's about funding for the project. This $1 million I talked about, that the NPP administration vowed that they were going to use some monies to, we never saw the $1 million. That's what the residents say. Information I picked up from the assemblyman as well. But they never got the $1 million, and they don't know when or which money they are going to use to do that. In 2016, the then Senate boss, Ernest Thompson, went into an agreement with AMA Koda that they were going to make some transactions or payments to be able to aid them to complete this particular project. But the Senate boss did not ensure that, or did not make that payment, or did not ensure that the payment was done. And so
there's that issue of funding gap existing.
It's
wow,
something
incredible.
that I don't think they would get the funds to do it as
any
we
moment
speak.
from now.
Maybe later.
You know what's for me is very disappointing in this, right? So for the past 7 years, right, we've had 3 different people head our National Development Planning Commission, right? So in 2015-16, we had Dr. Nimoy Thompson from the NDC, then Nanado Wind Power, then so it was Nimoy Thompson and Professor Kwesi Botwe. Nanado Wind Power, then we had Professor Stephen Ade. He came up with his own development plan, right? And of course, Nimoy Thompson also under the NDC had their development plan. Then 2024, Dr. Isiem Mensah Abrampa, right, who was the NDPC CEO, also comes up with a development plan. So, and see, in that development plans we've seen across this administration, 7 or 3 in the past 7 years, there's no avenue for continuation of stalled projects, right? Exactly. So somebody comes, then they start their own projects, right? And of course, political parties exist to win political power to come into office. And they come based on their own ideologies. And you'd argue and say, well, per my ideology, I don't believe we do this thing in a certain way. But then again, the point, in my opinion, and in my respectful view, is that if you look at certain basic infrastructure, such as hospital, market spaces, schools, a proper lorry stations and all of that. It doesn't really matter your standing on the political spectrum, whether you are left or whether you are right. Exactly. Or whether you are the striker like Cheddar would like to say. The point is that basic development should be met. And I'm of the view that, for instance, the National Development Planning Commission should have a component within whatever plan they are working with to say that we are going to commit to ensure that all stalled projects are completed. Because I believe in 2016, when President Mahama, for example, announced that he was going to do, there would have probably been a roadmap or a strategy in place or some funding mechanism to ensure it is realized, right? So if after 2016, 2024, we are still in the same problem, then it's a huge problem. I quite recall in 2007, there were stories around the Salaga Market. At that time, the mayor was Stanley G. Blankson, and he was talking about moving them. So you get a sense that conversations around it started years ago.
Yeah.
And so it is quite disappointing for me and very shocking.
Speaking about planning all of these, you know, in 2016, CODA stands on IPEP, that's the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication program, to do some of these things. And they said that they were going to stand on IPEP to make sure that they complete this particular project. It's been in their plan, even AMA. So, you know, the structure is directly under CODA, and then AMA comes in
as a way to support.
Exactly. So they stood on this IPEP to say that we are going to do this. Until now, we've not been able to see anything. You spoke about Mahama's administration, that they had a plan in funding. I can say that they had a plan, the drawing and all of that, because I have seen it, but I don't know if they had any funding source
to make it sorted.
Make this
but then
reality.
I would ask, if they didn't have a funding source, why pull the structure down?
Exactly.
It's a good question.
Sense.
It's a good question, but you see, sometimes you need to appeal to the people, or you need to give them some sort of assurance.
So you pull it down
without
pulling it down without a clear plan for rebuild.
You have to give
it's
them
not
that
kind of assurance that.
If you look at the voting pattern for Dodo, largely they've been voting for the NDC, and so it will not make sense to come and ask the people, oh, what do you want, and then they tell you want a market to be completed, and then you don't do anything at all. That would have been terrible. So they needed to start,
right?
So that Emrene Court,
I'm sure
the time is
there's
fleeting.
A plan. So now the traders are saying that they're not going to vote.
Yes, they have said that if they don't see this come to a reality, they are not going to partake in the election.
In July.
But this is something they've been saying for years. But they still end up voting. Anyway.
But what did the regional minister say to that?
Well, he didn't respond to the election threats, but he said that, look, we will make sure that this is completed.
That is all he's
going to do. He's a new
regional minister, so there's a lot on the table.
It's the same old rhetoric. And like I'm saying, see, in the last 7 years, we've had 3 development plans, right? From, like I said, from Dr. Nimoy Thompson to Professor Stephen Adai and Dr. Kojo Isiam Abraham-Pamensa, who recently passed away. May so rest in peace. The last one is the Vision 2057. And my simple take on this matter is that let's put in place a proper, efficient system where stalled projects of a previous administration is completed. Because there are so many of them. Not too long ago, Philip did one of a school somewhere. Exactly.
It's in the same area.
There are so many of them. So what's the point of a National Development Planning Commission if very simple development-oriented initiatives like this can't be figured out?
The Simpe School is very sad.
I think the next time we should focus on that one too as well.
We have spoken about that issue for years, and it's still
so
like
devastating, really.
Yes.
Akosia, it's been lovely having you.
Thank you so much.
We had a yellow dress, and then you also came in with a yellow outfit.
I really want to drink the cocoa because I've not had cocoa in years.
You had me on that one.
Yes,
So
so
the next
please,
time we'll
Samuel,
bring,
the next time
English breakfast
bring
with
you
calamari.
Don't
you
worry
know
about
calamari,
it.
right?
Thank you so much for coming
bring
here.
that
I
one,
know
sir.
how your church is important to you.
Oh yes, I'm going to sing in church.
Go and go pray for us.
Thank
All right, thank you so much, Akosia Otre, for that compelling explanation of your Salaga report.